Welcome to our Toe Up Sock class, Week 2 demonstration for knitting the gusset. Now at the end of Week 1, if you've completed your homework, this is what your knitting should look like. Now we've knit up to the part where our leg meets the top of our foot. And if you follow along our instructions, it tells us to make increases on needle 1. Now, so this is at this point, the knitting is identical on the front and back. But here we're going to place a removable stitch marker onto the first needle, and we're going to call this needle 1. Now, this is going to be the bottom or the underneath your sole part of the sock. So this is where we're going to place our increases on both ends. So we're going to use the same increase we used down here so that we can see it. We're going to use a bar increase or a knit 1 front and back increase. And as usual for doing increases, we're going to do it 1 stitch in from the edge. So we're going to knit 1 stitch, and then we're going to knit 1 front and back, and then we're going to knit across. As soon as I get myself situated here, we're going to knit across until it's time to make the increase at the other end of the bottom of the foot. And what this is going to do is it's going to give you that extra fabric that's going to come up the side of your ankle. It's basically under your ankle bone, heading up towards your heel. So just slide the marker when you get there. And let's go to where we only have 1 stitch or 2 stitches left. Almost there. Now if you're knitting along, I'm making bed socks on very thick yarn, so I only have 40 stitches I started out with total. So now we're going to knit front and back to make that increase, and then knit the last stitch. All right, so we've now increased 2 stitches on the bottom of our foot. All right, so this is the top part of the foot. If you were doing any kind of a design and you did it you were starting it below the ankle, this is the side that would have the design on it. And we want this part to just stay the way it is. It's just perfect the way it is. So we pick up our matching needle tip and we're just going to knit across. Now, when you were knitting the foot of your sock, if you decided to do a design on one side, that's going to be your needle 2 when you get to the part of this. And what you can just do is just knit plain across needle 1 and then and just basically reverse it. You do a half a row of knitting to get you where you need to start. So as you can see, our needle 1 is starting to get a little wider. And by the time we're done, it's actually going to be a lot wider. But first, this is a 2-row repeat, so we need to work the second row of our gusset increase. In this row, we're just going to work plain, no increases. So we increase the 1st, 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th. We're always doing it on the first of the 2-row repeat. So for this one, no increase. We're just going to knit all the way around. We get to the end, no increase, just 1 full round of knitting. Every second round gets the increases. So here you can see I've finished the increases required for mine. And you see how they just fill in that little extra bit of fabric. And that's the fabric that's going to wrap around the underside of your ankle bone. And you see there's quite a difference in the width of those 2 pieces of fabric, which is going to pull that back, the one with the marker on it, it's going to pull that fabric forward. So, and you'll see, now this is the bottom of the sock is facing you now, the one that has the marker. And you see how it drops down that extra fabric? So just imagine that flipped over, and that's what your sock will look like. Next stop, heel extension.